Hi everyone, I'm Martin. Who are you? And today we are, well, guess what? Playing City Skylines 2 Richie Bay. Welcome back everyone, and thanks again for joining in Richie Bay, this time on Crescent Island, our new beautiful industrial area with our harbor right here. Now for today's video, I want to check some problems that we have here in the city of Richie Bay. But I thought Richie Bay was perfect. Well, now, well, actually, it's not. Okay, it's really not. It might look perfect or starting to look more perfect, but underlying we have some issues and some problems right now. For some reason, and I really don't understand why, we don't have any demand anymore for apartments. Now, I have some suggestion why this is. But it's a little bit of a bummer because I wanted to expand Richie Bay with a lot of mixed housing, right? And then we need the demand of apartments and commercial zoning. Otherwise, it won't spawn in. This is the problem that I have right now. So I think it's also because of the fact I went a little bit crazy with all my city area and urban-esque city look-alike. What was that? I don't know. But for some reason, I've only built apartments, right? I only built medium residential housing, basically, with a few skyscrapers with high residential and some low rent housing. But we don't have any low residential housing at all in Richie Bay. And I think this is basically the main problem because I feel like citizens cannot move around as much or find a place that has a little bit of a lower rent or cost them a little bit less, or it's for seniors or for young families, you know, stuff like that. Which gives us the mainly issue that people are moving in, but also moving out, which goes accordingly with basically the numbers that I've seen in the game. Let me check. Where is it? There we are. So if we go into our citizen panel, info panel, we see right here, birth rate is looking fine, death rate is looking fine. But then the people who move in, as you can see, are 2,695 per month. And the people moving out are 2,207 people per month. So basically almost everyone that's moving in is moving out. Unemployment is okay, wow, 0.9%. So I do believe this is the main issue. Now we did start a little hamlet right here across the river, just, you know, checking things out and starting to see if this works, and it levels quite quickly. I do also like the fact that we have like a suburban area across the river. So we're gonna expand that in the future. But I also believe we have another problem in Richie Bay, and that is transportation. Now, during this playthrough, we don't have a lot of transportation. We have currently 2 taxi centers, taxi depots. We have one small one in this commercial area right here, somewhere hidden. And then I recently added one, as you can see, as I've been playing a little bit by myself here, and put this recycling center all the way over here. I did put a taxi depot, another one right here, because we have a lot of people that want to grab a taxi, but we don't have enough taxis. So that's one. Now, other than that, we also have 3 bus lines going through our city. And when I check these bus lines, especially during rush hour, my beautiful Dutch right there, I'm so sorry. You can see that in this info panel, it shoots up, right? The usage of especially this line right here. Even now it's on 91%. I don't know what time it is in the city. It's noon. It's noon. So it isn't even rush hour, if you believe so. So this line is getting used quite a lot. the other lines, especially during rush hour. So a lot of people want to get moving around the city, but I don't think we have enough transportation right now. So, a long story short, we are building a subway underground and overground network for Richie Bay. Let's dive in. Here we are at our subway rail yard on Crescent Island, the starting point for this video, because if from here out we're gonna decide how this network is gonna lay down into Richie Bay. Now, first off, I'm thinking we are going above ground across this river into the city area right here, and then hopefully go underground with this train track right over here. I hope it doesn't interfere, but I think it will be fine. Other than that, we do need another stop here on Crescent Island. The only problem is I want this to be overground as well. For me, it doesn't make any sense to go up and beyond over this river and then here go underground. I think it would be way too expensive for a city to build this. So we need to figure out where we're gonna put like this overground train subway station, because they are quite large. I've been checking in the menus about which one I want to build, because I do want to have some variation, of course. Basically, I want to build like every single one of them at least one time. But yeah, if you look at this, I mean, it's quite big. So yeah, we need to figure out where we're gonna put it. Maybe put a mulligan somewhere and demolish something, but we'll be fine eventually. Then here overground, we're definitely gonna make like an elevated stop right here. I think it would be pretty cool. I've placed some office buildings right here, as you can see, because I want some more dense skyscraper action right here. We also need the jobs. Again, unemployment is around 1%, so I do think we need the jobs, and it would be an easy stop for citizens to stop here and go to work, basically. So I think that would be pretty cool, and we have the space right here because we haven't built anything yet. Now, other than that, I don't know if we're gonna create like one line for now, or maybe two, or maybe even three. We're gonna check that out, but I do want definitely make a stop here in Hickory Junction, because transportation-wise, not every street is being served right here. So I think it would serve us good to put another metro station right here. Then maybe we do gonna add the subway add-on onto the train station. I am curious about how that is gonna look like, so we're gonna put that right there. We're gonna put a subway station right over here in this section. I put like a nice coloring surface right here, so I didn't forget where it was. But this is our commercial district. I think it would be great if just a subway stopped right here, and then citizen can walk around. And I've built a similar place into Chinatown. Now I am wondering where that is, though. I think it was this section, right? This is the main square. Yes. So basically, we're gonna put a metro station right over here, already a little bit detailed and finished off. So I think we have some presets for some metro stations. Of course, we're gonna build some more, especially around this business district as well. But I don't know how this actually is going to work out for us. I've never built a subway network before into my city. I never got that far. I always like to start over and start fresh, or build a village without a subway. So this is going to be new for me. And let's find out how this is going to go. So I had to cut off the time lapse because with my low vision and these tracks, it got a little bit wibbly wobbly and difficult for me to see if I place the track straight or not. So yeah, but eventually we got there. I got an interference with the train track, unfortunately, but I think this turns out quite nicely as well. As you can see, we're going now making a left turn and then going into underground, basically separating the lines into two different lines. So we're definitely gonna put like two metro lines into Richie Bay because I think maybe this one can go left or maybe upwards towards the train station, and this one can go a little bit towards the right and serve Hickory Junction. Other than that, I've also added overground subway station into our industrial area. The only green space that I got left was around this train track right here. And thank God for the move it tool, because I just moved it a little bit more to like this roadside right here. Kept it nice and straight. Well, almost everywhere nice and straight. And then could place this overground station right here. So eventually in the future, when the metro is coming in, it will split off into this section. And then this is basically like the end station of the metro line. I hope it works. I hope it does like go back as well. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make something particular interesting right here. But we're going to see that in the future when we place the line. Now, for other train station or subway station, I should say, we're going to add this on the train station right here. So let's add a subway station as well. Oh, we cannot? I thought, oh, is this, do I need to put on Anarchy? Let's hope this just works then. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I don't know where it's gonna fit, but let's hope it just fits. Cannot see where it's gonna put it, but we'll see in the future. And then the subway stations that I want to place, I want to have like a modern one into the business district. So basically around here somewhere, we have these two towers, right? And then we have the museum. Do we have some space somewhere left where I can fit you in nicely? Oof, I'm gonna first check it out where I'm gonna put it. Maybe even wreck this plaza because it does interfere with the road right here. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna demolish this one and then just place the modern architecture subway station right here, and maybe can put like a smaller plaza or detail something nice around it. No, I'm not allowed to do that. No, I thought it would. What? Why? Is this that big? Oh, it is that big. Oh, come on. Probably the other one would fit perfectly, right? Because just to tease me. Just to tease me. Where was it? There we go. Fine. Okay, so we're gonna place this one right here then. Where is it connecting on? I'm a little bit confused where I feel like it's not connecting on the road. Yeah, this is a connection on the road. Then it's like, it would be better if it would like connect up to this one, right? Can I do that? I don't know what is the right angle though. Is this the, because it clicks? Is that the right angle? Let's hope so. So basically on this roadside, perfectly on the corner, of course. Like there, because otherwise it would have to make like this weird turn, right? And now it would be a little bit more easily connected with the train station. Let's, at least I hope so. So this modern looking one, let's then put it in our commercial district. That is fine too. It probably say it is not able to because of the surface. I think so. Yeah, I think so. So let me delete this surface tool then. Let's click that on with our bulldozer. Let's see if this is better. Metro station. Here we go. For some variation. It worked. It worked. I saw it. I saw it. Yes. Oh god. The game is making some interesting flickering options. But no. No. Oh, come on. Oh gosh. It should work, right? Okay, I'm gonna try anarchy. Hopefully it works. Because let me see. This is not allowed. It should be popped over onto this side, right? I think it should be fine. I think it would work. Let's hope it works. We're gonna see that in the future. Then we're gonna add one into Chinatown. Where's Chinatown? I always forget where I'm building things. Chinatown was right over here. We're close, we're close. Right over here, yes. Okay, can we put an interesting looking one as well here? Maybe the modern architecture. It, no, that wouldn't fit either. Why is it always so large? This would fit perfectly though. Of course, we cannot put it in the middle. Or is this the middle? Is it like 2x2? Or 3? Yeah. This is because of the surface. So that should be fine eventually. That works pretty nicely though. Okay, that's not that bad. Not mad about that. Then we have Chinatown. We have the business district. We have the train station. We have the commercial district. We should say that university-wise should put in another metro station, right? Right. Yeah, we should. Can we put it maybe here? Close by? I mean, it's not bad to have like a little walk, to have a little walk towards the university. But please, can we just put in the modern architecture one without any interference? Yes, we can. Okay. Okay, that's a win. That's a win. We're not gonna complain about that. I don't know how we're gonna get there, but we'll figure it out. Chinatown is close by to the hospital, so that should be fine. Commercial district, business district, train station. We want to have maybe another one close by to the bus station. Especially with the interliners coming in, I think that would make sense. You know, if you are taking the bus from another city and you come here and then you can grab the subway and then we go into Hickory Junction maybe. But I have to be mindful of this because the track is going here, right? So if I'm gonna place a subway station here, how in the I'm gonna end up right here? Maybe like a rotation. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. It would be. Hmm. I mean, we could also put it right here, of course, right? It's not that bad because this is the bus station. Um, mm, 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 mm. Maybe one here and then. We need to find a place in Hickory Junction, but I have no space left there though. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, maybe here. Is this Hickory Junction? What is this? Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I already heard the sirens. This is like a little bit of a dark place right here. Maybe here on this corner? Should that be an option? We need to detail just a little bit more then, because I don't know if this is going to work out for me. Yeah, it would fit perfectly though. Okay, okay, okay. Let me see if this works, because I'm gonna definitely delete the surface right here, because I'm afraid otherwise the subway station would turn green. These hedges around we can delete as well. That's not like a big deal, but we can do that when we are in the detailing mode. But I do want to make sure that this is like the correct concrete line that we have here. Can we place this without anarchy though? Would be great. Perfect. Okay. So we have a stop in Hickory Junction then. And we always can continue this in the future, like maybe go this side over here into this city. And then we need another one close to the bus station. I would like to have it like place it somewhere hidden, you know, but I don't know if I can though, without wrecking too much. It is quite a puzzle to put in a subway station network into your city. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Please help. Send help. Where? I think I'm just gonna put it right here, and then we're gonna build something nice around it, because otherwise I'm going crazy. Modern architecture one just for the variation, but do you go then? Yeah, you go like this. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's put it like that. However, now comes the tricky part. We need to connect everything up. Connect the dots. So we're gonna go underground. Like that. It's gonna be difficult for me to see with my low vision because the city is quite in the way, I have to be honest.
A few moments later.
Okay, so here we are. Well, Paradox Interactive. I do love City Skylines too, but you should be in jail for the visuals when you are placing a metro network underground. It is insane. I do have low vision, of course, but I think even people with full vision are struggling to do this. So visually, I think you can do better than that. It was insane. Basically, in real time, we are 1.5 weeks further along. I have watched YouTube videos of other influencers about placing subways in City Skylines 1 and in City Skylines 2 because, of course, I was not happy with the first result. But I am, well, over time, I got happy with what we have right now. So let me show you what we've built. I did a few mulligans and changed a lot in Crescent Island. As you can see, I've added now a normal railway station. I think it's quite interesting for the future when people from villages or little hamlets can travel to this section of the map quite easily and then start off work here. And instead of a normal overground subway station, I placed an elevated subway station right here because it fitted in quite nicely, as you can see, and it works out pretty well. Place some pathways in between, which I've noticed is quite important because to travel from one block to another block, the people and the citizens would go all the way around. So a lot of people didn't use these metro lines, but now they do, and now they switch in between, which is quite nice because we have a bus stop right here as well. So that all works out. And then we continue in an elevated overground situation right here on Crescent Island, as you can see, where we had our beautiful park. Well, that is wrecked. Couldn't help myself, but we needed... I did want to have like another small elevated subway station, but it is important to have multiple tracks or multiple platforms when you end your network, basically. So this is, yes, we will continue this, as you can see, in the future to another section of our map in basically in our Richie Bay city like. But for now, we will end the line right here. So it is easier. It's not interfering on the tracks with each other, basically, because I had that situation before when I had like one subway station, lines were coming in, but then they were overlapping with each other and then they just disappeared for some reason. So it is better when you have like an end station to have multiple platforms where you can end your lines easily. Also, another tip that I've noticed, please, when you place your metro or your subway elevated situation or underground, try not to use anarchy. I did in my first run and it got all messy, it got all strange and weird. Now I just use like the guidelines of the game basically without anarchy and place it around as much as I can, which turned out quite nicely, I think. And then it all works. As you can see, the subway trains now go back and forth, switching from one platform to another and then go back into Richie Bay again, which is nice. And again, in the future, we will loop this around more easily. But I think it's quite nice that we have now 2 stops into Crescent Island. I mean, it is a big island, so people can easily travel now in between, which is nice. We have 2 lines, by the way, just going looping around back and forth. So it's basically like a central line. I called it the central line as well. And one will go underground, I believe, or overground. Yeah, overground here across this river. I forgot. I remember. This is a week later, guys. And then we go underground right here because it would make sense to have like an easier stop into the university. The last time that I showed you, we went all the way around to end up here. But I think it's way easier to just have a subway station right here, which we can detail quite nicely. You can upgrade this one as well with another platform, as I've noticed, which is quite interesting. So maybe we can have another line stop or start right here and then go to another section of our city. So we can get more citizens in using the university line, basically. I think that is quite nice to have this option. So that is quite good with the modern architecture underground subway station. We don't have that with the normal one. But remember, it is an easy way to, you know, set up your new line quite easy then. So this is one that stops right here, basically close to the university. Then I did place another one right over here into this section. We do have a lot of people living here as well with these apartments, low rent apartments and mixed housing. And of course, the elementary schools right here. So it would be nice to have like a very basic subway station with no add-ons right here, because remember, this is quite of the edge of our central city, so it wouldn't be anything special right here. Then we've had this one that we've had built in our business district, if I can find it. Yes, the smaller one that end up right here. This one has some add-ons, basically because of it's a business center. And then in our train station, our central station, it's morning, so I have a little bit of a speech impeccament. So sorry about that, but the coffee is kicking in, so I'm trying here. I'm trying. And then the bus station right here. Remember, I did place one on this edge here. I've demolished that one, and I've placed another modern architecture one right in between, if I can find it with my low vision again. Let me see. We've had this street. I think it was right here. No, this is the street, right? Is it here? Yes, it's right here. So we have another modern architecture subway station right here. It is an easier access again with the bus station, so people can easily cross over, which I think is nice. And again, we can of course build upon this with another track and then basically create another line right here. So this goes down into the Central Park area, which we do need to make a little bit more beautiful. We do need to beautify this section as well, but we have a central subway station right here for an easy access. And then we go into Hickory Junction. Oh, where we at? Where we at? I think we're quite good. Yes, 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 we are. That's a win. So then we go into Hickory Junction, and we have now an overground elevated. We go over right here, but an overground elevated double track a subway station right here, because this is going to be quite a busy section. I have placed some more apartments right here, as you can see. A lot of people. I do want to have this like crazy busy city center right here. So this will be an important transport hub, basically. So yeah, that is why I've built the double elevated station. And then it goes around back again into Crescent Island and back on these platforms. So in a way, I think we're all set for now with our subway lines. If I show you the subway underground, let me check. That is this tab right here. Then we go like this to build. Yeah, but as I mentioned before, placing this with your low vision, it's just one big white gray blob. It's insane. So please do better, Paradox. My God. But as you can see, we've looped around this a little bit, and then we go into the north for maybe like a new line that we can add right here. I've placed this one as well, but then we can go to the east right here. So we do basically can expand easily, more easily than what I've built before, which I think is quite nice. Of course, we should build upon this, what we have right now with our central line, because the subway network can be quite big, of course. And I do maybe even want to have a connection with this little hamlet right over here. So we can see about that in the future. Now, when we look at the numbers, I've been running the game for quite some time right now, because I've been playing the game for quite some time. But I've noticed something interesting, right? Our bus lines were quite full, which was a bit of a problem right now. But the bus lines density and the usage of the bus lines dropped a little bit, because now people are starting to use our central lines, our subway lines, way more than before, which is quite nice, of course. Where are the... Hello? Oh, this is tram. There we go. Subway lines. There we go. Which have 3 trains on the tracks, which is quite enough. So usage, they are quite empty, basically like all the time. But I think that's quite nice. It's a very comfortable trip then for people to use the metro stations and the metro lines, basically. But when you go into this tab, you can already see that basically more than 6,000 people per month are using our metro lines, which I think is a quite nice start after all the struggles that I had. But as you can see, the bus lines dropped from 21,000 people to 80,000 people. So basically around 3,000 people said, well, I'm now taking the subway. Thank you very much, which is quite good. So the buses are not overcrowded anymore. So it's all a win-win for now. Unfortunately, demand for apartments hasn't kicked in just yet, but I feel like there is a buggy thing going on. But with these demands and the apartments or people moving in or moving out, because as you can see, I've barely built any housing at all. But for some reason, my citizens continue to move in, basically in Richie Bay. We started this video at like 48,000 for, or was it like 50? I don't remember. But basically, we are now at 61,000 citizens, which is quite interesting for me to see. When I barely built anything, money-wise, we dropped quite a bit, to be honest, because of the metro subsidies and expenses that we lose on that, which is quite expensive, of course. which makes sense, but we're still in the green, so that is fine. I don't know if you guys have any problems with apartment demand. Please let me know in the comments if so, and how do I fix it? Do I need to create more jobs? Because we do have a crazy low unemployment rate, which has been changing for some reason as well. But the game is a little bit buggy for me at the moment because even graphics wise, I've always have like fog and clouds off because it's better for me to see with my low vision. But for now, for some reason, every single time when I start the game up, clouds and fog is enabled. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, most important is the fact that our subway lines are now working, right? So let's just see that as a win. And let's just start detailing finally to create some nice subway station for Richie Bay. Boop, and here we are again. So I finished like 3 subway stations that I've detailed. You've seen 2 in the time lapse so far, and I'm gonna showcase a little bit what I've been doing and what my ideas were. So this is like the university stop right here, of course, close by. I've added 2 small commercial buildings, as you can see, and in the time lapse, I was a little bit looking at the buildings of what they are selling. So apparently, this is like a petrochemicals building. So I'm guessing like a gas station or some sorts. And this was selling food. Now, if you're telling me you're selling food, I'm guessing you're a restaurant, which is basically perfect for this situation because I love the fact that we have this big university right here where students, of course, are studying for their medical degree. And then before they go into the subway, before they go home, maybe they take a drink or grab a bite with some friends, hang out a little bit here, maybe study even in the sun, with their laptops and sit on the terrace and then maybe go home with the subway. And then on this side at the petrochemicals or gas station right here, I kept it quite basic. I also do love adding these like construction sites a little bit, like small one, bigger ones, because for me it feels a little bit more realistic to have some projects going on in the city, basically. Love the fact that the people are actually like moving around this. Of course they are, because they are not using this pavement, obviously, right? But they come from the subway, then make a hard turn right here, and then basically walk home or walk to the gas station. Don't know why, but they do. They do. And then in the back, I just added a small loading station with this old wrecked car that probably has been there for years, but nobody knows why. Then at the business center, I kept it basically quite clean and quite neat around this area. Let me see. I just had some fun with the surface tools, basically. I was playing around with them. I've added like 2 pocket parks. Pocket parks right here, as you can see. So this area will be used by some people, which I think is nice. But then I just, lay down these surfaces, stretch them out a little bit, and add some more benches and some more green and bushes around here. Because, of course, this is a quite chic business district. So I want to keep it quite clean, quite neat, no graffiti, no stuff or anything like that. It's basically an in and out station. And then the other one I was working at was over here at the bus station, which I was having some fun with, to be honest. Let me see if I can find it. This is already outside of it. Bus station right here. So metro station should be right here. So basically, this was more of a grouchy area, more like the part of the city where you don't necessarily want to be found. And of course, this metro station is quite chic. It's a modern architecture one. I placed this one because, again, we can add another track on the backside, of course. But here in the back where I had some space left, well, I added this like backyard of this building that is being used by a lot of maybe, you know, homeless people. I mean, we do have them in the city. I do like the fact that not every part of the city is that perfect. So I played around with some tents, with some barrels, with some junk, even also here with an old car, with some greenery where the homeless people basically have some privacy, to be honest, which I can relate to, not relate to, but imagine that they need it probably. And you know, it's just fun to play around with these items and see what you can come up with. Again, we do have around like 700 homeless people in the city, and this is a place maybe where they can hang out just a little bit in privacy, and where people are walking around and be like, well, let's just you know, walk a little bit faster. The other subway station in the city, I'm not gonna detail as much for now, because basically we are going to change it up a little bit here and there. And on Crescent Island, there is not much to be detailed, to be honest, because I don't have the space for it. But this is my favorite spot with this build and this video thus far. I do love the fact that we see a lot of subways going around here. We see cars, we see trucks, delivery vans. We have a passenger train going around. We have a cargo train. So this is basically like the most busy transportation center that I have right now in the city, which I do really, really like. Also, I have to be honest, the sound design on these metro subway stations and even with the metro lines, I absolutely love them. If you live in a city which has like an underground or an overground metro, which I do because I'm living in Antwerp, it's spot on. It's really spot on. So props to the sound design. Listen to that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing those trains up and down going around, and I'm not gonna rhyme any longer. But I am happy thus far. We still have a lot to do. Hopefully in the next video, we can look at this section right here to make it a little bit more overcrowded in the city of Richie Bay. Again, we haven't had any difference with the demand just yet with apartments, but I'm keeping the game running for now and see just what happens, because as you can see what I've been saying, I haven't built any residential yet, but still the citizens are still moving in. We are now at 62,000, so I really don't know what's going on right there, but we'll see and we'll figure it out together. So that is basically it for today. If you made it this far at the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully see you next time in the city of Richie Bay. Bye bye, everyone.